Well, happy Monday, everybody. SEC once again showing their true colors. They really do have no shame. SEC asked Coinbase to halt trading in everything except Bitcoin. Just shut it all down, they asked. We all know, right? This started really in early June, especially. They went after Binance, identifying 12 crypto tokens as securities in the Binance lawsuit. And there they are. There are the tokens. This was a big revolving headline. And then the day after, I think it was, they went after Coinbase, charging Coinbase for operating as an unregistered securities exchange. 13 of the roughly 254 cryptocurrencies available on Coinbase are securities. That's what they're alleging. And now the whole narrative has been, man, what's going to happen with this little grouping of cryptos? Because it looks like, things like Ethereum, they're completely in the clear, right? Well, SEC basically saying everything except Bitcoin is a security. Now, this is coming from Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, right? This wasn't like a formal written down type of thing, which we're going to look at in a second. But let's talk about what this means and what this is. Requests would have meant the end of the crypto industry in the U.S., according to Brian Armstrong. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission asked Coinbase to halt trading in all cryptos other than Bitcoin prior to suing the exchange. So they did it before even going after Coinbase, in a sign of the agency's intent to assert regulatory authority over a broader slice of the market. In the comments, please let me know what you think. Is this protecting crypto investors? Could you imagine what that would have done to the crypto industry across the world, not just in the US? It would have demolished the US crypto markets, obviously, but across the world. Investors, millions and millions of investors across the world. Can you imagine what this would have done? Is SEC intent really to protect you and I? It's clearly not. That's not what they're doing. Coinbase chief executive Brian Armstrong told the Financial Times that the SEC made the recommendation before launching legal action against the NASDAQ-listed company last month for failing to register as a broker. But the prior request for Coinbase to delist every one of the more than 200 tokens it offers, with the exception of flagship token Bitcoin, indicates that the SEC under Chair Gary Gensler has pushed for wider authority over the crypto industry. Here's Brian Armstrong. They came back to us and they said, we believe every asset other than Bitcoin is security. And we said, well, how are you coming to that conclusion? Because that's not our interpretation of the law. And they said, we're not going to explain it to you. You need to delist every asset other than Bitcoin. And I've been saying time and time again, everybody, and this is obviously Coinbase's view as well. Brian Armstrong, Paul Graywall, the chief legal officer. I think they are going to win because the law is on their side. What Gary Gensler and the SEC are doing, it's wrong. We really didn't have a choice at that point. Delisting every asset other than Bitcoin, which, by the way, is not what the law says, would have essentially meant the end of crypto industry in the U.S. It kind of made it an easy choice. Let's go to court and find out what the court says. I just want to note something from this article. Gensler has previously said he believes most cryptocurrencies, with the exception of Bitcoin, are securities. But here's just one small little reason why SEC will lose. They're already starting to lose. Gensler's previously said he believes most cryptos are securities, right? And this article says it right there. But look what else Gary Gensler said. This is just out there. It's been out there.
3/4 of the market is non-securities. It's just a commodity.
3/4 of the crypto market, non-securities.
A cash crypto. So you'll hear debates about initial coin offerings and what's a security and what's not a security. Relevant and important debate. But for 3/4 of the market, it's not particularly relevant as a legal matter.
Okay. So it's relevant debate, but for 3/4 of the market, it's not a relevant legal matter. But now, years later, here's SEC telling Coinbase to delist everything other than Bitcoin. Man, it just doesn't get any more clear than that. Now, here's where things really, really get shaken up. I tweeted this. I'm not going over this whole tweet, but it's just from the pre-motion hearing of SEC versus Coinbase, where the judge said, you're asking to the SEC, you're asking me to focus on the assets themselves or on what's being done with them on the Coinbase platform. And the SEC basically went on and said, we're asking you to focus on the securities that Coinbase allows to be transacted. They want the focus to be on all of the crypto assets. There's 13 listed in the lawsuit. They want the focus to be on those, right? Now, this is where things become extremely relevant and so important. When we're looking at this case, it has been kind of just this, 12, 13 cryptos in the Binance, the Coinbase lawsuits. They've been the focus. But these assets, these crypto assets now, they're kind of acting in a similar sense of Ripple and what happened with XRP being thrown under the bus with the SEC going through this legal battle for years. And what happened with that case? Judge rules XRP is not a security in SEC's case against Ripple. What's crazy is this headline came out. This news basically came out while this was the pre-motion hearing of the SEC versus Coinbase. Why that pre-motion hearing was going on, that news about XRP not being a security, that was coming out as this pre-motion hearing. I think they even had to take a recess. So you can just see the importance now in terms of this Coinbase versus SEC case. I want to take a quick look, in case you haven't seen it. What is the chief legal officer at Coinbase? This was after the Ripple win. What does Paul Graywall, chief legal officer, think in terms of Coinbase versus SEC?
I think we will win. Now, I thought we would win before this decision. We think this decision has only further strengthened the case. And the reason is this was not just a casual opinion offered as part of a much wider dispute. This was
it definitely is just an opinion, but Paul Graywall, like many people think, SEC is going to lose. This is Wendy O. Some thoughts on everything going on. SEC literally asked Coinbase to halt trading. Remember this. They asked Coinbase to halt crypto trading. The SEC allowed Coin to go public, approve their business model, and after years destroying their business, selling crypto assets is a revenue source, obviously. Fire Gary Gensler and restructure the SEC. This is Wendy reacting to this crazy news. And I also just want to throw this out there because this is important. It's not just these things going on. There's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes. SEC sues Coinbase. Fidelity and others file for Bitcoin ETF, naming that Coinbase is their surveillance partner. In case it's not clear, firms that manage tens of trillions of dollars don't care about the opinions of SEC. And that's all they are, everybody, as of right now. Their opinions. They probably also don't think the SEC will win. Just like Paul Graywall doesn't think so. I really don't think so. I realize anything can happen, prepared for every scenario, but I don't think so. And there's a lot of people that don't think so. So a pretty incredible headline. And note, the SEC said its enforcement division did not make formal requests for companies to delist crypto assets. So they didn't make a formal request. So what was this? Like a behind the scenes type of threat? Is that what it was then? If it wasn't a formal request? Man, I would say I kind of believe Brian Armstrong over SEC and what they're saying. And this story it just magnifies this Coinbase versus SEC case and everything that's going on in the crypto space right now. Please let me know your thoughts, everybody. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe, bringing you that crypto news and analysis, and hit that like button on the way out. It means a lot to me. I will see you all in the next video. Have an awesome start to your week. God bless.